Good morning, it's Thursday once again, and it's time for Blabbing from Britain with myself. And hopefully, just to prove I am not totally alone, Stephen and Peter, if you could join me on air, that would be wonderful as we make a start to this Thursday morning session here on Blab. Brilliant, okay. Morning, Stephen.
Good morning, Stephen. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. I can't hear you. Peter, can you hear Stephen?
All right. Can you hear me or not?
All right. Okay. Now. Okay. Just a minute. Right. Okay. Just a minute. just a techie thing here. Yes. Okay. Right. Okay. That was most embarrassing. Oh dear. I thought it's a little noise in the corner. What's that? Right. Okay. Brilliant. Well, there you go.
You need to edit that bit, and we'll have that as a sort of bloopers.
Yeah, bloopers of the week. Yeah, indeed. That was a good one. Oh God.
More coffee. Maybe a synchronized coffee.
Yeah, more coffee. Yes. Yeah.
Not around, is it? Okay. What he's drinking today?
No. Right. Okay, Ken. That was very good of you. I've noticed my earphones over in the corner, so that's all right. Right. Blab news this week. Nothing has happened. Nothing has been said. We're still here, and I looking at the front screen, it does seem to be getting busier, especially across Asia. And noticed the Russian influence as well in recent days. So we're still here, still plodding away.
One thing I have noticed is I've got a couple of unlisted blabs which I started yesterday morning.
Yeah,
and they're still running.
Right, they will never stop. If you created an unlisted blab, basically it's there forever. You can have as many as you want because you can only be in one at a time. I've got 3. I've got the green room, which I use before the start of a business show, just for testing things out. I'm in one for the Facebook group, and another group of people who've been on Blab for a long time.
You just jump in and out as you see.
Yep, okay. That's it. It doesn't. You can't record it, but it's there forever. You can give people the URL and invite them in. And then you can boot them if you don't want them in there again. But it is forever. I was using Unlisted Blabs to do recordings. Yeah, just the product demonstrations with the drop-in and the screen sharing and everything. It was beautiful, perfect for doing. Yeah. So now it's Screencast-O-Matic for me.
Fabulous.
It still works the same. It still works the same way. Morning, Kev. Yeah. Now, this is just between us, okay? 4 weeks ago, I was approached by a video conferencing site, who I won't name, and they wanted to know more about Blab, and they were doing market research on why Blab was so successful as it was then. And I've done another 2 interviews since. And they said, we'll try and get rid of your frustrations, which is as close you can get to saying we're entering the market, which would be good, because they've got the proven video technology as a video conferencing center. So if they're going to launch, that would be really good news, because they know it's 4up. They know it's got the text down the side. They know it's got screen sharing and drop-ins, which is not new technology to them. So there may be a new player. I'm still waiting for GoLiveWith, which hasn't appeared yet. And Firetalk is good and dependable. Is good. Morning, John. It's okay. Just relax for a moment. Just Firetalk is dependable because it's only 2 up. So Firetalk is great for doing one-to-one interviews. But it's, again, we're going to come back to a big question in a moment, which we all need to face. Morning, John.
Good morning. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Speakers are a bit high.
Okay.
My hair's all over the place. I've just been outside having a chat with the neighbour about his proposed extension.
Do you agree to it?
No, don't be silly. He wants to build a wall 1.5 inches away from my conservatory windows.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Don't think the council will let him anyway.
Well, no, it would not be a good idea, would it?
No.
You were gentle with him, weren't you?
But I've been nice as pie. Gave him a copy of my letter of objection.
Yeah.
Said to him, here's my proposed solution. He doesn't like my proposed solution, but I don't think the council will let him build what he wants to build. He wants to build a 29 square metre extension on the back. And I think he'll actually find he's close to needing planning permission at that size.
That sounds quite large.
Yeah.
That's another house.
It's pretty big, isn't it?
Will we see this on Channel 4 News, John?
No. You can probably see it from outer space.
It's to challenge the Great Wall, is it? Oh, talking about the space, did you catch the broadcast last night from the space station?
No.
It was absolutely fantastic. Mr. Zuckerberg was interviewing the 3 astronauts live on the space station. And I'm not sure whether it was concurrent, but there were 125,000 viewers.
All right.
Which means that it can handle a large number of viewers. And interestingly, whether they were doing video editing or not, Mark Zuckerberg was on the right-hand side of the screen and the astronauts were on the left.
And what product was that in?
Facebook.
Facebook. All right.
This was Facebook Live. This was Facebook Live 2 Up.
All right.
So I thought I'd mention it because it's worth catching the replay, which is on the easiest way to find it is on Mike Turner's page.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's not as busy as Mark Zuckerberg's yet. So I would bring it in here, but it won't work, will it?
Right. Okay. Before I forget, I will have to be pretty prompt off. I have to go to the hospital this morning.
Okay.
He's still hanging on in there, but I've got to see the doc today.
Right.
Good luck, mate.
Yeah.
I wish he'd let go. I know that sounds a terrible thing to say, but he's been suffering for 9 weeks now, and it's really time he just let go, you know. But he won't.
Morning, Peter.
Good morning.
Calvin as well.
Is that not a good start? They know for to come out and make me a coffee. My own coffee, not Costa. How's Gordon? He's not one on. How's Norman Wisdom's just walked in.
Oh yeah. So, did you do a Blab update, Stephen? Because I haven't been on Blab at all this last week.
All right, yeah, Blab update none. There's no changes.
No changes. Not disappearing, and no.
All right, no, you just reminded me of something. Okay, on Sunday night, a Blab was scheduled by Brittany.
Oh, I've read about this on Facebook.
A Blab was scheduled by Brittany because I've got notifications on. I got notified of it, so I subscribed and then I posted it first of all, then I went to Twitter and found out what was going on. It's just said I'm moving to LA.
I saw that.
Yeah. And she posted 2 tweets about it. One that I'm moving to LA, and the second I'm looking for a community manager's job. Anybody know anybody? Anyway, it transpires that Brittany has left or is leaving Blab, and is for pastures new. I hoped that she would go ahead with the show, but she pulled it. She didn't pull it entirely. She just wrote cancelled on it on the text, so it shows up as cancelled. Because it would have been a good opportunity to thank her, really, because for the first 6 months we were on here, she did a sterling job. Yeah. But as they're not building community anymore, you don't need a community manager, which is sad, really.
They're not building a community anymore.
Well, they're with the Bebo iOS app, they're looking for 16 to 24s, aren't they? Yeah, and that's just on the go, chatting to your mates. With the Blab being a backup. I mean, that I've got to say that Blab has been, depends where you are. For me, it's always been stable. It's stable at the moment.
Never really had any problems. Only one or two odd things.
Yeah. I've done over 80 shows, and I've got over 80 videos out of it, so I can't really say it's not been working. I mean, occasionally you've got to come in and try twice. You know, but I mean, I've still got a staff of 15, so working on this and on the Bebo app. Were you here when I was speaking about my being approached by another player in the game? Right, just to recap on that then. 3 weeks ago, I was approached by a video conferencing company who are well established, and they wanted to know about Blab and what the magic of Blab was. So I've done 2 or 3 interviews with them now, and they left it that they would clear up our frustrations with Blab. So there may well be another entrance. GoLiveWith was due out in May, hasn't appeared, and Firetalk is still 2 up on the screen. Okay, but I was totally fascinated by the Facebook Live one, because if that was a genuine 2 up, then it means that Facebook Live is going for group chats as well, and that would be a real game changer. Yep.
I see Dan used Zoom for his 8 up conference. Dan down the chocolate man.
Oh, Zoom.us. Yeah. But is that limited on the free version, or?
I think it's limited to we'll kick you off at 59 minutes. Is the limit.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So you couldn't go all day. Yeah. Congrats, Kelvin, on doing over 100 shows on here. Let's hope you can get to 200 and we can get to 52 in 23 weeks' time. Right. Okay. Thank you, Fraser. Fraser's just confirmed.
Firetalk, same Zoom, 59 minutes.
Right. Okay. On Firetalk, first of all, we've got. I think the video quality on Firetalk is superior. If you've got the camera, then it's got the capacity, so you can get a very good resolution on Firetalk. So it looks crisp, and there's no problems on the sound either, and all the recording. Is that true?
I've never seen it, so I don't know.
All right, okay.
I'm just looking on, but to be honest,
Fraser seems to use it. Why don't you pop in, Fraser?
I do think that the Blab quality of picture is brilliant at the moment.
Oh yeah. I'm not knocking Blab. It has no competition at the moment, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
Chrome doesn't seem to like Firetalk. Can't find it.
Oh, there's another one as well, and I'm going to type the URL in. This is a friend of Stephen the techie, not me or you. This is another Stephen.
Oh, is that rather garish orange-fronted thing?
Well, ulivenow.com. I've spelled it right because it goes to URL. Yeah, Ulive Now is 11 up.
What?
Yeah, the host plus 10.
What was it called?
But you need sunglasses to look at it.
Cool.
What was it called?
Ulive Now. I put the URL in.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh no, this is a different one.
Is it? Right, Fraser's trying to join us. It should be.
I can't get onto you live now. It's just sitting there spinning.
Oh, it is beacon.
Hi guys.
Got another Scotsman in the room. Hello.
Hi. Well, I was I was gutted yesterday. I'd promoted my URL for my blab, scheduled a blab, promoted the URL on SlideShare, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. I wrote a blog. The embed didn't work, interestingly, but I put a link in it. And I logged in about 10-15 minutes beforehand. And then 1 minute before the damn thing, it logged me out. And when I went back in, I lost the URL because the blab had actually started. And then when I went in, I couldn't connect to my blab. So about half a day's work of promotion and speaking to people, waste of time. I was quite disappointed. So it seems to be there are some things that Blab's unstable with.
I think a lot of that's due to your internet quality as well. But normally you can restart a Blab if you go back in within 2 minutes.
You can.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. First, I mean, the thing is, I never come near my live blab until I'm actually going to start it. That's just me. It's always been so. I don't want to start it accidentally. That's how it all began. I don't want to. So I never come into my blab until I'm going to start it and press the start button and do it. That's the first thing. Then as John says, basically, if you don't succeed, try again. I know it's a pain in the arse, and it shouldn't be there. We'll all agree on that. But persistence sometimes works. Not saying it will always, but it should get you back in. And as we said before, once you're actually live and you've got more than one person in the room, make someone you know a co-host. So if anything happens to you, you can bob out and bob back in again. I mean, I had fun this morning. I had fun this morning. I had no sound, but I didn't have my earbuds in. So there you go. So it can be us as well. Yeah. So yeah, I know.
That was a picnic, was it?
Sorry.
A picnic. Stevens was a picnic. Problem in chair, not in computer.
Yes, it was definitely. Definitely.
Worth watching, John. It really is.
Oh, it's on record. It's a blooper. It's on record. No problem with that.
We'll have to put that on the outtakes, will we?
Right. So you've been trying Firetalk, Fraser?
Can you do a quick check for me? You do a quick check on the main blab.im page. When I checked earlier, the same one blab was up 3 times as a scheduled one for 3 o'clock.
You get some idiots that put them up 3 times, though, Fraser. That's part of the problem.
There is a glitch as well, insofar as if you go and edit a blab, and Blab's in the wrong mood, instead of overwriting the original, it creates a second one. No, our friend Liam the other day had 7 blabs. Now I can't believe he edited it 7 times. So it's a bug. It is a bug. And it happened to me yesterday, so we can confirm that these things happen. I mean, I'm working my way through scheduling 15 shows for this month. I've got all the graphics done, and I'm going to put all the create all the blabs. But as I say, I won't go into any of them until just before. Right, okay, it's happened to other people as well, and Kevin. So we're getting reports from Kelvin and from Kevin that it's not.
It seems to add a temporary, a load of random characters after some of the blab URLs.
Mean, if I was programming it, if you went into edit anything, I would save the original, and let you play with a copy. And then when you finish playing with the copy, I would put the 2 together. Now, what seems to be happening is that it saves the original, but it's also saving the copy. It's not merging them properly after you've done your edits. So that's what's happening. So the more you go in and edit it, if you change the title, you should end up with 1, but you could end up with another one. But it's not consistent. So I mean, I go in and edit Blabs regularly because I make a cock up on the titles. So, you know, they can be edited. Yeah. Anyway, you've been trying Firetalk.
Quite a lot of people.
Sorry, Fraser.
I haven't. No, not yet. But there's been a lot of talk of it in the last couple of days.
Yeah. I can see it for interviews. It should be really good. One-on-one. But for chats like we're having now, there's nothing to beat Blab.
I agree with that, and I'm just putting a link into the chat box because I'm scheduling the very first proper Blab.
All right,
guys out with a Twitter campaign. I've mentioned it before, and it looks like it's about 3 o'clock today. I'll be doing the interview with a lady called Helen Brewster, and we're doing the not waving Twitter campaign.
Right.
So we'll have some fun with that later on. We've actually had a practice session.
Yeah.
Practice rehearsal, because it's. I sort of said to her, she said, "Is it okay just to sort of have two talking heads?" And I said, "Yeah, because it's genuine. That's the whole thing about Blab. It's genuine. It's not staged, apart from when we rehearse things. But it really is about being in the moment. I think, and, it's not like it doesn't come across as flashy and sparkly, but it does work, obviously. So look for that one. You'll see the link because you'll get my notification presumably pretty soon when we do it. So that's cool. Just wanted to mention.
Well, I wish you every success with that.
Thank you. And I should be using Empire Cred and all the other stuff you've told me, Stephen, over the last couple of months anyway, to try and promote what we're up to. So it should be fun. It'll be fun.
Yeah, put a mission up.
And will you be having a Bloody Mary for Dutch courage beforehand?
No, it's 3 o'clock this afternoon, which is a tad early.
Okay, yeah.
I know it's something to do with how high does the yard arm go in Singapore. So it'd be nice and late in Singapore, but not in the UK, I'm afraid.
Okay.
But I have had one of the 4 bottles of Bloody Mary mix, and it is just as delicious as I always knew. Thank you once again. Right. I also had it was quite an international delivery port last week here in Stoke-on-Trent, because I've imported a sample of a toy which is quite neat, which I'll show you just for a second.
Okay.
So it's a levitating Bluetooth speaker. And you can see that the magnets are very strong.
Yeah.
But it's just something that is quite popular with the Star Wars crowd.
Yeah.
And it's quite neat. So I'm just trying to get the bloody thing to connect with it.
Right, okay.
And I'm trying to get the bloody thing to connect to anything. But I shall have to do a Blab demo sometime. But that's just one of the things we're playing with over here in Silk Towers.
Let's go back to Firetalk for a moment. And Kev says, Firetalk does have pay-per-view if you can attract the paying audience, and tracking of stats as well. Right, okay.
Here comes the Talkinator.
Yep. You're back, Peter. You're back. Hello, you're back.
Yeah. So dealing with the guys at the same time there, so I'm back. So sorry I missed a lot of the stuff. So what we're talking about.
Is that an unbranded cup I saw you with?
A what, sorry?
An unbranded cup.
It's an unbranded.
You see
too much
coffee on the side,
Costco. Ah. Is Fraser still there? Hey, Fraser, I was looking for you. I had a meeting with 18 people for the Speaking Association to come up to Aberdeen, and we had Paul Sloan talks on innovation.
Yep.
And so I was very pleased with that. So I hope to get a mastermind group, and I was trying to get you there, Fraser, but I missed you. So that would have been good. So I'm hoping to get a local mastermind group running as well, just to bounce ideas off one another. And I'm gonna, what I would maybe ask you guys to do is, once I start the Talkinators talking, I wouldn't mind if you came along and helped me out in the evening and want to get it going and just help me with some of the intricacies of it. As things are moving. Yeah, so there you go. So what's new on the agenda then?
Referendum.
Oh, is that what we're talking about? Yeah.
Testing it.
You've got a massive echo, Stephen. Silk.
Have I? Oh, bugger.
You didn't.
For now.
You're better now.
Yeah.
I'm moving hand in place.
Right.
I mean, I don't know what you guys have been reading, but it certainly looks like the Leave campaign have been quite successful over the last week.
Really?
Closing the gap. And some are saying that it's a couple of, well, maybe 4 or 5% towards leaving now, which is remarkable given that it was a good 10% the other way just a week ago.
Yeah, it's the over 50s, I feel, who are saying, let's go back to the good old days. But they weren't good old days, that is. Our memories misremember. We only remember the good things from 50 years ago, or 40 odd years ago.
Kevin says it should not be open to a vote, in his opinion.
I totally agree. This started off as a Conservative Party ripping itself apart and we're voting on something we don't know enough about, and we never could.
You can't know anything about something as vaporous as what the future might be.
True.
Do you know what? I'm actually 1% towards Leave as well myself now.
That's okay.
I just don't understand why I'm thinking like it, really. But then I think about the likes of, who would I be in the camp with then? Farage,
Gove,
and Boris. I mean, it just beggars belief. But
So,
you're right. It shouldn't be an issue because it's going to take. I mean, let's face it. If we do decide to leave, it's 2 to 5 years of chaos.
Yeah.
And whenever you do a sort of a reorganisation or a change of any sort, it takes your eye off the ball.
It does.
but that's all was going to happen. I've spoke to a few people. Now, my partner, she works in the NHS part-time now, and she's full-time. And she sees it at a breaking point, and she says, I'm going to vote for getting out of Europe now.
Shit.
Yeah. And another guy who I was quite surprised, I thought he would be out. I was phoning him yesterday down in Glasgow, and I thought he would be an outer. And he says, up until yesterday or the day before yesterday, he says, I was going to be all for staying in. He says, no, I'm out. I don't know if you've seen some of the videos that's happening, and I'm hoping to go to Berlin in the next couple of weeks. Berlin, there's been big problems where there's other problems, and you see it coming up on Facebook, and you're not seeing the mainstream media seeing it. They're not putting out what's going on. We don't know what's going on out there. And I believe there are ghettos. I mean, some places in France the police can't go to, and that's what they're saying, And I was listening to a radio program in a few years, I think it was Radio 5 just a few weeks ago, and the chief constable says, no, there's no-go areas here, there's no-go areas. And a serving policeman from that force phoned up, he says, oh yes, there is. He says, because before we go to certain areas, we have to get permission, we have to phone the local top guy to get in. He says, so I can tell you, as a serving policeman, there are no-go areas that we can't go to.
Yeah.
So
I've heard about a couple of policemen at the Metropolitan Police who went to an Eastern European country and were treated like gods by the receiving dignitaries. But then they said, let's go to this area. No, we're not going to do that. And the word was that in London there are areas like that as well.
Yeah.
It's just scary. And there was a report, do you remember in the new year there was a report that the wave of immigration into Germany had led to attacks at concerts on females.
Yeah.
And there was a report the weekend, again, probably a scaremongering one, but they get away with it, talking about more attacks at concerts. I don't know, it's just, I don't know. But that's it. We don't hear about what's going on. the Tory party have been trying to block the investigation into expenses, election expenses, not anywhere else apart from Channel 4, that marvellous Michael Crick.
Yeah.
But, and then to put that into the EU referendum context, we just don't know. Nobody can know what the implications of leaving are.
I mean,
and will Cameron be weakened if we stay in? If we vote to stay in, will he be weakened in his negotiations with the Europeans?
Well, the negotiations he carried out to before the referendum date was announced have disappeared. We haven't heard about them. What he gained, we haven't heard about that for quite a while. But the problem is that both sides are running on scare tactics.
Yeah. Fear plan, isn't it? Fear.
Yeah. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And both sides are using it. It's not a way to run a business, is it?
No.
What I did object to is somebody like Obama coming across and telling us what we should be doing. I didn't like that, because we can't tell them what to do. How would they like if somebody else? If America was told, right, you've been taken to court and that's it, and this is, oh, wait a minute, now we have to go to European court and they'll decide for you. That's one thing I'm up against too.
Somebody should have taken the opportunity, though, to talk to him about TTIP. Have you heard of TTIP?
Yes, I have, yeah.
I mean, I don't know what your partner thinks, Peter, about the NHS, but it would appear that TTIP, and I'm no expert either, would be opening the NHS to American corporations. And you think, that doesn't sound brilliant as an idea. How many privatizations would you call a success? Well, that's a little bit close.
Yeah.
Steve and John, do you know anything about TTIP?
No.
I know that only vague things, really. Just before we move on from the police, just to mention that Fraser has heard that some local police forces in South West are now owned by IBM.
What could go wrong there? Managed
by IBM. That's quite an interesting. We'll also have to follow that one up and see if but I mean, we're in a lot of our industry and commerce is owned by European companies,
or China, or Russia,
or France, or I mean, we are international. I don't know. There's no wrong answer as long as we stay in. I don't know. Now, in other news, if I was to mention zoo to you, what would it mean?
Shot gorilla.
Yeah, indeed. And that, I mean, accidents do happen, don't they? I mean, we've got to say that there are such things as accidents. But it's an unfortunate sequence of events. I mean, the young person got through the railings and then fell 15 feet into the bird enclosure.
Oh, I remember there was an article in the paper about the guy that fell in Britain and went over and it stroked him. I think maybe what they should have done is slowly went into the enclosure. Maybe took a gun with them and then started to distract him. That's what they done the last time. They distract him and trying to distract the animal away, but always having that rifle ready for any wrong move. And trying to coax the kid, or maybe throw food in the opposite direction or something, Animals love food, and that might have helped. But if it had went the other way, there would have been hullabaloo as well. So it was really
they had the primate expert on from Twycross Zoo, which is not too far from me, and she said, although it's a terrible thing, that she believed that the right action was actually taken because gorillas are totally and utterly unpredictable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She says gorilla can be as nice as pie to you 1 second and swiping your face off the next.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I've seen that woman that got her face ripped off with the chimpanzees. They can just turn. But here's a question for you. How did that kid get in there in the first place?
Nobody knows, Peter.
Sorry?
It would appear that there was quite a few barriers, 3 barriers to get through.
Yeah.
Apparently, he'd said, I'm going to go heading there. I think I might be misquoting. I just got to call it an accident, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, learn from it. Just a shame something like that went, but okay, there you go.
Kevin reckons that parents are morons.
Well, there have been calls for parents to be tried in the States.
Where was this? In the States?
I think they were a bit more than tried. They should be executed claims.
Lynched was the yes.
Is it lynched?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's polarization between people who said the bear shouldn't be shot and people who said that the parents should be shot. But an accident, we're going to call it an accident. Now, is Mr. Trump's arrival here on June 24th an accident? Waiting to happen.
He's playing the Trump card.
Oh, nice one, John. We're getting all the puns in this morning. Let's go for a record.
You know what?
Can you come in?
Yeah. I mean, obviously.
He's coming to Scotland, isn't he?
Well, I mean, it's
to see you, mate.
half an hour for me to go to his golf course from here, the one in the north.
That's why he's coming, I think.
Right.
The man, it gets what he wants, usually.
Well, he owns half of Scotland, doesn't he?
Well, I've heard that.
Not the best answer.
He got beaten on the wind farms. People got.
Yeah,
That's the
good.
thing. Do you not think he's toned down a little just recently?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Seen
yeah.
a difference?
Even the Republicans are talking about him in a non-hateful way.
Yeah, and but what I did see was quite a while back. All the news pundits and it was all them going, Donald Trump for going for president, ha 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 ha, and every one of them, ha ha ha. They have to face him now because if he tones himself down and said, no, I'm not building the wall, we're going to have to do so. It's all about the wording again, how he says it. But it's got him to where he went, because over there, seemingly, the middle class have had enough, you know?
Yeah.
And when I went to America and met them, some of these guys, I couldn't believe how many conservatives there was when I went to it was actually my local Toastmaster, a Toastmaster to them, and I couldn't believe how many right-wing they were, and they hated Obamacare. I don't know why, but they hated Obamacare, which is the equivalent, I think, of NHS. Not quite sure how it's like. Yeah.
Medical for all.
Yeah. But
So what? The bookies are still saying that Hillary's a shoo-in. I heard a report the other day saying that Bernie Sanders is going to pick up a lot of the young vote in California in a few weeks. Yeah. If that comes to fruition, if Sanders brings those votes home, he could beat Hillary on the delegate votes. We've got these super delegates who do what the hell they like, but it's who knows. But it is a possibility that Sanders could beat Hillary for the nomination.
No,
a very slight possibility, according to something like that. A very slight possibility.
Well, do the superdelegates hold sway? I mean, their votes, which are predominantly Hillary, mean that Bernie hasn't got a real chance. Well, unless he...
Yeah, but he'll try and do the sort of thing of, he'll be sort of, because nobody's voted yet, the superdelegates ain't voted yet, or nobody knows who they are. But, in fact, there was a John Oliver, I don't know if you've seen John Oliver in the Late Show or the This Week show on the States, on YouTube as well. But he was saying that the way that the Democrats and the Republicans choose their candidates is entirely up to them, and it's just absolutely nonsensical. Absolutely nonsensical. They can do what the hell they like. And if you vote for somebody in a primary, you're voting for a person to be able to vote at the convention, and you don't know what they're going to vote, who they're going to vote for. It's an amazing mess. And nobody gives a monkeys until halfway through or near the end of a presidential campaign. And then when the person wins, they're not going to review it or reform it. But I mean, I've got quite a lot of faith in bookies. They tend to be right most of the time, obviously. And as I say, they still put Hillary in the pole position quite a way ahead of you know who. Christ, I hope he doesn't get in.
The bookies won the right to Grand National this year because I won £1,000 at 50 to 1.
Not bad, mate. Not bad.
Oh, pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Right,
But that's the thing I found out today. I was reading an article today. When you say to him, hey, my name is Peter Stewart at Gmail, did you know you don't have to put the dot in a Gmail address? Did you know that?
What dot?
No, so say mine was peter.stewart at gmail.com or something like that, right? You don't have to put the dot in. No,
right. Okay.
When they're specific about the dot. Just a little wee bit to let you know today, you know, in case you make a mistake. And forget the dot.
That rings a bell because I've seen, I got a bit confused about my own emails. And that rings a bell, Peter, but it doesn't ring a bell for the sort of standards of email and addressing, but hey, whatever.
Just Gmail.
Google will do what the hell they like. Right, I'm going to go away now because I've got my battery dying on me, but I'll be watching and good luck and have fun and speak to you later.
Stephen, catch you later.
Hurrah.
Right. Right, at that juncture, I'm going to say, not going anywhere, but I'm going to say thank you to everybody who's joined us live and asked questions, and Kevin and Fraser and Kelvin and everybody. So for the recording, it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from
you. And him down there.
Right.